Hello, friends. Welcome back to Stan's Cutlery Universe. And today is a two for Tuesday. This is brought to you by Tom from Knife Delights. If you don't already know Tom over there, go check him out. Please subscribe to his channel. I will have a link to him below. It'll be in the description. Excuse me. I was going to do this outside today because it wasn't supposed to rain. And I guess I should be grateful that I was just getting set up and it started raining instead of being already going and it starts raining. So you got to take the little things, the good with the bad. Today, I'm technically going to be showing 4 knives, but 3 of them are the same exact model, just different handle materials. I just want to show you. They are fixed blades. So if you're somebody that doesn't enjoy fixed blades, then, if you want to click off, hey, I understand. They're also inexpensive budget pieces. So again, if you're somebody that doesn't like budget pieces, I can understand. I just want to give you a fair warning. These are knives that I have found. I can't remember the name of the seller. In fact, I'm not even sure if they're still on eBay. But excuse me, the knives I have gotten from them have been very, very well made. And I really liked them, and I've enjoyed collecting them. I've enjoyed how beautiful they are. The ones, the Damascus ones are beautiful. The non-Damascus are beautiful. They're just, they seem to be very well-made pieces. And I know, like I said, some people right away poo-poo them, but that's okay. It's different strokes for different folks. What I would ask is that you at least give me a chance to show you what I got. Check them out and tell me what you think. Like I said, I've been pretty happy with them, pretty satisfied with them. And we're just going to do a few little things with them, some paper cut tests, some stuff like that, just some looksies at them. First up, though, we have these little bad boys. Look at that. Nice little sheath. I am probably going to vacuum form these. I'll soak the leather in some water, and then I'll put them in a vacuum chamber, and I'll suck them down. I'll have to protect the knife because the knife is Damascus. Look at that raindrop Damascus. That is so beautiful with that handle. And I'm not a huge yellow fan. I'm not going to lie, but just that with that is so beautiful. Obviously, it's a full tang. Just a beautiful little piece. Got a lanyard hole. Looks like, I'm going to say brass pins. That's what it looks like. The leather, it might be one of those what Tobias calls the cardboard cow, from Pakistani or wherever they're made. I think these are Pakistani. Let's check the blade test. Wow, is that really that dull? It is. That is dull. I haven't tried these yet, so that's a little embarrassing. That is very, very dull. Hey, you know what? That happens. Let's look at the next one. That's also the same style. Nice little piece again. Look at that Damascus again. It's raindrop Damascus. It is a different pattern, even though it looks the same. It is different. Look at that, beautiful. Even the gray and white is just, oh, that's just beautiful. Fits in your hand nicely. It's just a little finger. You want to put a lanyard on it with a little something. Let's see if this one's sharp. Okay, I'll call it kind of, sort of, maybe. So that surprises me because this so far is the first ones that I've gotten that I won't say hair popping sharp, but we're sharp. The last one of those is this little guy right here. And again, look at that green and yellowish green or just different shades of green. Look at the Damascus again. Oh, just so beautiful. Let's see if this one's sharp. Ah! Sorry about that. Okay. Well, you know what? I just learned something. These are the only this tiny that I have. They don't do real good on sharpening the tiny ones. So I'll have to put them on my stone, sharpen them up. I'm not disappointed in them, not for what I paid for them. I think these were a lot, if I'm recalling right. They had one where I think it was when they was getting done selling, bought it by the pound. And it wasn't super expensive. I can't remember what I ended up paying per knife, But so far, I haven't been disappointed. Even these being dull, I mean, it only take a few seconds to sharpen that up. And it's what you see the glossy on there is the oil and stuff. I thought I got it off better than that, but I didn't. But it still looks good. And plus, these handles are glossy anyways. But just neat knives, you know. And for the price, I guess what I'm saying, if you're just wanting something, a small little knife that's not going to break the bank, might be a way to go. I'm 99% sure they're Pakistani made. And I know some people say that Pakistani Damascus isn't real Damascus. Well, I watched how they actually make these knives, and it is real Damascus. It is real Damascus. It's the reason I'm willing to bet if I was to take the covers off, the reason that the handles don't show a Damascus pattern is because they probably right about here welded these two pieces together, or they just ground it out. I'm not sure. Could be a solid Damascus because it almost seems like to save that little bit would just not be worth the money. Next up, this is a slightly bigger one. This is a full-size Bowie. Beautiful blue handle with brass fixtures. The pommel, you can see how it's a rat tail through the pommel. Beautiful. This sheath here is actually very nice. Actually leather, smells like leather. It's nice and thick. Is a very nice piece of leather right there. I give them credit on it. I give like 2 pluses on, 2 thumbs up on that. That's a very nice job on the leather. Now, again, Damascus. This one, of course, I paid accordingly. This one wasn't super expensive, but it wasn't cheap either. Got some good thickness to it. Oops, still got a little bit of, I thought I got that all, but I missed it. It's just a compound where they buffed it out. It's my fault, I missed it. So if you see anything there on the brass, not, yeah, uh, guard, kept want to call it the hilt. That's just rubbing compound. But I really like the, right here, the lines I put there, black, red, and green. Got the blue, I believe that is a bone handle. It's green, red, and black down here. Guess it's the same pattern, black, red, and yellow. Like I said, this is a pretty thick blade. I would guess I should have brought my tape measure out here. I will guess 1/8 inch, maybe a hair over, maybe a hair over. I haven't checked the sharpness on this yet. That's what I'm used to. This bad boy is, yeah, this bad boy is sharp. That is what I'm used to when I get my Pakistani blades from, different places. Again, I know some people will not like these, but hey, different strokes for different folks. I enjoy this. These are a nice weight. The ones I have played around with and used are well built. They have handled some, I won't say I've beat the snot out of them, but I have gone out and I have taken some time, what do you want to call it? Chopping on some wood and stuff, like I said, nothing aggressive, nothing nuts, but would they handle batoning? Yes, you could baton with them. Would I want to baton with them? Not really, because of the swedge there, you'd destroy your baton, or not baton, but your baton. Sometimes I'm so smart, I'm dumb. I'm so far behind. I think I'm in first place. But yeah, just again, just a beautiful Damascus pattern. I think that's called ladder Damascus. I think, not positive. Just a beautiful piece, though. Well done, well made. Overall, like the plunge lines, you can see where there's a little bit. They're slightly off there at the plunge. What I mean by that is right there where they, they're not perfect. I might be calling it the wrong thing, but I think I'm calling it right. Trying to really look at it for any real imperfections. You can feel a little bit of a lip right there where it's not perfect, but it's not anything that's like going to hurt you or harm you. But I do want to bring it up because it's, this is not really a review, but an overview. And, when I'm showing you these knives, I want to let you know that these are something that I think, will I say invest in? No, probably not. Maybe. but probably not, you know. But are they fun to pick up some and add to your collection? Have a nice collection that doesn't cost hundreds of dollars. Yeah, there's some rust right there. I got to get some oil on her right there. Look at that. Just a smidgen of rust. Yep, that's real Damascus. That's what happens when you don't put them back in the oil right away. Well, that's my own fault. That's not the manufacturer, because this I have had for a while. I've been playing around with it. I keep looking down here because my computer's right here just to make sure I'm in frame. I apologize about that. Um, but yeah, I think if you bought one of these, like I said, they're not cheap. They're inexpensive. And my opinion of between cheap and inexpensive is cheap is I don't care how much you paid for it, it falls apart, it's a piece of garbage. Inexpensive is look at the difference. Okay. Daddy. What's that? Oh, sorry. Inexpensive is something that does good but doesn't cost a ton of money, but does a good job. Might not be as great as is this going to be as great as a $200 or $300 Bowie? Probably not. But the reality is, like I said, I have not with this one, but other ones chopped with them, done stuff with them. They've held together, and I just absolutely hate it when I hear somebody just because of where it's made, just instantly cuts it down. So that's why I wanted to share this Two for Tuesdays. I just wanted to share my experiences that I've had with the Pakistani made blades. I have had overall good luck with them. Have I had some that are turds? Yes, sir, I have. Sometimes when you're ordering, especially like off eBay, you have to use a little discernment and like maybe do an order where you just pick up like one knife, make sure it's well built, make sure it comes the way you want it to be, not rusty, not this, because I have had some where they come and it's like you can just tell. I don't want to say the seller's disreputable, but they obviously didn't check the knife to make sure they're selling you a good quality knife. It comes and it's like the Damascus is rusted. That's a bummer because once Damascus rusts, it's near impossible to make it look good again. You can make it look okay, but to get it back to the glory it has like this right here, to looking like that is nigh on impossible. You'll always have that little brownish stain on there, because it's just unfortunately what it is. And if there is a way to clean up Damascus that doesn't do that and still leaves the pattern, please let me know. I would love to hear it because I got a couple. So yeah, my word of advice for these would be use caution, use discernment. If you want to get a couple of neat pieces that's not going to break the bank, that you can have some fun with, and yeah, they might come duller than I am, but they also might come sharper. It's just, what can I say? I want to be 100% honest, and that's what I have to say about them. Me personally, I enjoy them. Any of you that's watched my channel for years knows that I like knives of all types. I like the expensive knives, and I say expensive, $150 plus knives, down to the, like I said, I think these were in the pounds, and I think it was $25 a pound, which gave me these three knives. So what's that? And a couple others too. I can't remember what I got. Gave me like 4 or 5 knives like this. So you're at like $4 or $5 a knife. I mean, when you do that like that way, you are taking a chance you might get something you don't want. But I honestly would have never ordered this. And I'm so glad I did, because these little things are flipping cool. They are flipping beautiful pieces of cutlery. I'll tell you right now, if I have to go somewhere, I would not be ashamed to show this to a friend. Even the knife guys, they'd be like, dudes, check this out. This is cool. And hopefully they'd be like, man, those are pretty cool. They'd look it all over. Where's this made? Is this somebody locally? Oh yeah, these have a little switch on them too. I didn't even notice. Cute. And I'd be honest, say, no, they're Pakistanis, but yeah, they're still pretty cool, and because they are well enough made that some people might not have a clue of, I don't want to say origin because that sounds wrong. I guess it is right though, isn't it? Origin, where they're made. Yeah, I guess it is right. Yeah, that's right. Sorry. Sometimes I get ahead of my words and then I struggle like I just did there. I apologize for that. Well, I've been on here about 16 minutes now. I hope you understand what I'm trying to put forth here. I guess it's give some budget blades a chance. You might be really surprised. You might find you found something else that, those times, because we all go through them, those times when money's tight and you just don't have the $100 for a case knife, the $60 for a case knife. But you know what? You could pick up a $20 big knife or get a few knives for $20. And they're well made pieces that honestly, if I was to put them back on eBay, as long as I make sure I put them back in oil, some oil and usually I wrap them with oil and what's it called? Parchment paper. Yeah, parchment paper. I also seen HT had one where he wrapped one of his buck knives with saran wrap because he's keeping it in the sheath. And I like that idea. That was a good idea. So I might steal that saran wrap idea. Probably a little bit easier to manage, to actually stand on a knife than parchment paper. Is parchment paper kind of sort of, well, because it's paper, it likes to float around. Does it? You got to fold it, get it, and everything. So I might steal that saran wrap idea. I'm sure he might have stole it from somebody else too. I don't know. So whoever thought it up originally, thank you. Well, shoot, I'm done with my rambling and everything. I hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful day. If you've made it this far, please, hopefully you're already subscribed. Give me a like. If you want to share it, share it. If you want to comment, I'd love you to comment. I truly enjoy you guys' comments. And let's see. Do hashtag Lil Damascus, Lil Damascus, all one word, Lil Damascus. Well, hashtag Lil Damascus. And we'll see what happens there. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you all so much. With that being said, live long, prosper, and collect your own.